Good morning once again, and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Kalvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. Give us a call at 612-504-8400. Visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. We teach classes almost weekly, a variety of different classes, all related to retirement, very appealing and all educational. No costs, materials are provided. And we encourage that with existing clients as well as new folks we've never met. Because education is so very important. And what I'm finding, Kim, as these classes are being so well attended, people want to learn. And they don't know where to go. Mm-hmm. Yes, you could do it yourself, but where do you start? And actually, what do you believe? Right. The internet can be a great resource, but you can find anything you want on the internet, whether it's true or not true. You can find anything you want. Sure. So where's a reliable resource? And we've been doing this for, again, our 10-year anniversary. And again, it's nice to see people that want to learn. And again, that's why they're so well attended. And we love doing them. We really do.
Yeah. So again, folks, havenfinancialgroup.com. Take a look. No doubt there'll be something of interest to you. Be sure you sign up. They are free, and you don't have to be an existing client. You do need to sign up, however, because they need a head count. Let's talk about taxes and retirement accounts. You know, taxes are some of the biggest expenses that some people face in their retirement. So you want to do everything you can to prepare and to make sure that you're paying your part, but not more than what you are expected to pay. And there are strategies out there that exist if you work with a partner like Haven that can cut down on that tax bill. What do you think is the biggest mistake people make in retirement when it comes to taxes?
Well, let me ask the listeners, what is your tax plan? You know, if taxes rise, what are you going to do? Is your retirement strategy, is it secure? Are you a forward-thinking tax planner? Do you do any tax planning or not? Or are you just the one last week that brought your box of statements into your tax preparer, dropped it off, and then you'll pick it up and not even talk about it? Mm-hmm. I can tell you, Kim, that's what a lot of people are doing, and they're not getting the attention that they deserved. And I will tell you, and you know this and the listeners know, taxes will probably affect you more in retirement than ever before. And again, that's not a good thing to leave with the listeners on our fourth segment on this show, but it's real and it's true. So what are you doing? Do you have a partner? Are you doing tax planning? Lance is our in-house CPA. It's tax season. If you don't have somebody good, or if you're paying too much, give the office a call. Get on his calendar. He is very educational. He loves his whiteboard. He loves to explain things. Just this past week, I have a newer client that her tax preparer raised her prices dramatically. And it's like, and she goes, I just listened to you on the show, and she came in and visited with Mitch on Social Security. She came in with Glenn. I met with her, and I said, what about taxes? She goes, I already have my meeting with Lance. She goes, and she told me how much that they were, the last CPA, actually wasn't even a CPA, actually. Lance is a CPA. How much they were charging, and she goes, and Lance is very fair. Plus, she goes, I get to have conversations with all of you, and I didn't have any of this attention before. So taxes drives investments. It drives your income plan and distribution plan when you retire. Where do you draw from? What types of accounts? These are the discussions. You worked hard all your life to get the dollars you have, small, medium, or large. You want to take out the money out in the most tax efficient way possible.
Yeah. What are some of the tools out there, the retirement tools that help you with taxes? Well,
IRAs. Again, pre-tax or Roth IRAs, what's right for you? Don't know. I just know that they probably both are right for the listeners, depending upon your income. Employer-sponsored plans, we taught 401ks, deferred comp, all those different ones. Take advantage of that. Don't take it out early and get penalties. We want to avoid any penalties, interest, or any charges. We certainly want to avoid that. Understand contribution limits. You know, can I contribute to a Roth if it makes sense? Can I not? What are those limits? You know, every year they continue to change, and we'll go over those changes if folks come in, because there's way too many to list on this show.
Sure.
Discussing in those early retirement years, which we deal a lot of folks that they retire maybe earlier than expected for a variety of reasons, whether they wanted to or not. And maybe they have some lean years of income where they're delaying Social Security because it makes sense, or they're delaying their pension because it makes sense, because maybe it's still growing. and maybe they're going to live off savings or something of that nature. Now, this is where we get into the discussion of, is now a good time to do conversions? Everybody we to visit with will have a fourth quarter discussion about Roth conversions, filling up that 12% tax bracket. What are those limits? What are the limitations given your individual situation? When I say individual, everybody's situation is different. The problem is, and this is why on a weekly visit in my conversations with many folks, including many of my staff members' conversations with folks come in, missed opportunities. Did you do this last year? Nope. Our tax preparer told us too late, or nobody told us.
Right.
Well, we have had a great opportunity to do tax planning in these recent years and for the next several years, because of the low tax brackets that currently exist. Problem is, many people are going to look back and go, why didn't anybody tell me?
Right.
Why didn't I have this conversation? And if you're just dropping off your taxes and picking them up and not having a discussion, I almost guarantee you're missing out on something.
Well, let's talk about that just for a moment. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act, it expires in 2026. Because the administration changed, chances are very good it will stay in place. But that's something that no one knows yet. And I know for the last, year and a half, 2 years, you've been talking about the fact that people need to plan for that, which may mean making some changes now to take advantage of where we stand.
For certain. Now, I'm quite certain they're going to extend it, which will give people an opportunity. But eventually, there's going to be changes, and taxes are going to go up.
Yep.
And if you're in this, anywhere 60 to 65, in 10 years, you're all going to have to take required minimum distributions, because based upon how old you are, right now the RMD age where the government forces you to take it out is at 73. Now, many listeners might be confused. I thought it was 70 and a half. For years, it was 70 and a half. For a year ago or two, it went to 72. Last year, it went to 73. It currently is 73, and in 7 years, it goes to 75. So what this means is anybody that's put a lot together, and a lot of the baby boomer generation and others have pre-tax large balances, and they get to that age, and now they're forced to take it out, Kim. And so what do I hear? Oh, my goodness, Larry, we make more money now than we did when we were working. Congratulations. Now you may owe more taxes. So anything we're able to do to minimize taxes early on in retirement planning could minimize taxes later on. So, but if you're not having those discussions to find out what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, then you're probably doing yourself a disfavor. We are constantly talking about taxes, not because it's such a fun thing to talk about. What's fun is avoiding surprises and knowing you're doing what you can to keep more money in your account than Uncle Sam's account. And again, that's why forward-thinking tax planning, and we don't charge extra for that. Lance, he does tax. We do tax planning from the tax deadline, April 15th, throughout the rest of the year. That will be tax planning. From January through tax day, that's tax preparation.
Sure.
I like people to avoid this. Oh my goodness, Larry, we owe 10 grand or 5 grand and I didn't see this coming. Why didn't you see it coming? Had you had a discussion and maybe had better withholdings or had somebody guide you, this would have been a surprise that didn't happen. And you could leave the office with a smile on your face going, I didn't owe anything, or I might have even got a few dollars back.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So, giving Haven a call right now and setting up an appointment so that you can begin that preparation, not necessarily for 24's taxes, but for 25's taxes. And the sooner the better. That would be a smart move. That number is 612-504-8400. 612-504-8400. Call them and let's get on Lance's schedule so that you can get in and talk to him about maybe what you're paying for 24 and what you don't want to pay in 25, right?
Yeah, maybe it's just coming up with some tax strategies nobody's talked to you about, or if you have questions about how not to pay more taxes. Ideas there. Lance's goal is to abide by the tax code, but not give any more money to the government than possible. And I've said this many times, the tax code doesn't always make sense. use it in your favor where you can, because that is the tax code. Taxes will affect you more in retirement than ever. Make sure you're doing your part to minimize that.
Well, Larry, today we have tried to answer some questions, but I know that our listeners have lots of questions related to retirement. And again, they can get those questions answered by calling 612-504-8400. Be sure you check out that website. It's havenfinancialgroup.com. Like always, this has been a delight.
It sure has, Cam. Retirement puzzle pieces, put them all the pieces together to the same puzzle. Taxes, investments. If you're worried about the volatility of the market, stress-free or stress test that portfolio. Keep your costs down as much as possible. If you're retiring soon, that Medicare discussion, healthcare, estate planning, which we talked about in this show. Maybe you're worried about the nursing home. I just had a client that just went in, and unfortunately, they were not prepared. And that's what we're trying to help people avoid. Again, Kim, always good to be with you. I encourage listeners, there's no cost to come in and visit. 612-504-8400 or havenfinancialgroup.com. And Kim, we like to have a little bit of fun there, and we're coffee snobs, and we do like good cookies.
Have a great week, Larry.
You as well, Kim. Take care.